Hello, everyone. Welcome to step 2 of the 5 steps to healing Lyme Mastermind. Welcome. I'm so happy you're all here. And I want to remind you and just let you know again that it is my intention that all the information that I share today will inspire and motivate you to deepen your healing from this disease. I've stated this before, and I will say it again. I believe that Lyme is a spiritual initiation here to teach you how to grow and connect with Spirit, God, or unconditional love. It is my mission in life to empower you to transform your health and your life through this rite of passage or spiritual initiation I call Lyme. Please know you are not a victim. You are here to learn, grow, and heal. Do not allow this disease to perpetually trigger any victim mentality born from your family or ancestral trauma. As empaths, do not allow this disease to overwhelm and overtake you, as it is teaching you all about setting healthy boundaries by forcing you to speak and give voice to your truth, advocate for yourself on every level, thereby reconnecting you back to your strength and your inner wisdom. So today I'm going to cover step 2, which is all about nutrition, some more about gut health, the endocrine and nervous system. So regarding nutrition, as I mentioned in step 1, your organs need nutrient-dense foods, superfoods, herbs, green drinks to provide them with the vitamins and minerals they need to make them strong and have enough strength and stamina to carry out toxins, as well as to, of course, rebuild and restore your organs. A little more on the importance of nutrition. We just covered how the importance of feeding the organs. And, I'm going to go off on a couple tangents here, so bear with me. It takes me a while to get going. Regarding food from the earth and nutrition, all of that, I want to talk about cellular energy and the life force of what you eat and how it relates to the health and well-being of your body, mind, and spirit. I want to remind everyone that simply put, we all emanate and have a life force. And this life force, or your chi, otherwise known as your aura, can be seen, photographed, and measured using kirlian photography. For those of you who are not familiar with it, and I'm going to spell it, it's Kirlian. Kirlian photography is a technique used to just capture photographic images of corona discharges around living creatures. Essentially, it's just capturing the aura or energy field of a person, animal, insect, plant, or live being. So the story I wanted to share was two, and they're both related, so bear with me. Years ago, I had a session with a man. He invented a kirlian camera where you put your hand in a glove and it took a picture of the aura of your hand. And I suppose the energy it was emitting. And along with that, he had the ability to diagnose health challenges based on what he saw. I can't pretend to know how he did that at the time, but I will tell you that, a couple years, probably about 5 years later, one of the health challenges he mentioned actually manifested, and it had me reflecting back on this use of kirlian photography for diagnosis and seeing what's going on and why we don't hear about it anymore or use it. It was pretty amazing. So I just kind of wanted to mention that story. And then 6 years ago, I was very much into vibrational energy medicine devices. I worked at and ran a little shop that had a vibe machine. I don't know if you guys remember the vibe machine. I was later introduced to the Tesla energy lights, which were very similar to the vibe machine. These two energy medicine devices, essentially they used light and vibration, and what that did was it shook up the cells, it detoxified them, and therefore re-energized them. So I watched some pretty amazing sessions with people coming out of the vibe machine and energy lights. One in particular was someone who had ALS and was having a really hard time walking, and he did one 15-minute session, and he was able to leave the vibe machine store probably 80% better than when he came. It was pretty outstanding. So I had the pleasure of meeting Aaron, who sells the Tesla lights, and he actually let me use them in my health and wellness center for 2 weeks. And so not only did I have the pleasure of using his lights, he also had a kirlian camera. And not only did the camera take pictures of your hands, it also took pictures of chakras, and I can't pretend to know exactly how that worked. But the cool thing was we would take pictures of people's hands and their chakras before and after getting on the table, doing approximately a 15-minute Tesla light session. And the results were always amazing. So I just kind of wanted to share some of that. I think the life force of everything and the cellular energy of everything is very, very important. And it relates to nutrition. And then I think we get caught up in seeing nutrition only as a diet or in supplements or in herbs. And I think it's really important to identify, as empaths, you have the ability to do this, the energetic field of the plants. Not only the field, but you do that by identifying the feel of the food that you're eating. By going into the store and just, taking your hand and kind of feeling into which apple, which onion, which carrot, which piece of ginger, be really conscientious about what you pick. Take your time, be present, get grounded. Very, very important to learn how to do that. And, you all know how to do that already. So I just kind of want you to do more of it. So everything from the earth is medicine. And everything has a life force. So if you want your life force to become stronger, then you need to eat foods with a powerful life force, right? As this life force connects you to spirit. And one of the quickest ways to connect to spirit is through, and by drinking the medicine from the plant, and it's probably by juicing, drinking green juice. Drinking green juice means, putting greens. You can even use collards, kale, Swiss chard, parsley, all sorts of herbs through the juicer. And if that's too strong, of course, add a green apple, maybe a little lemon. But what I want to share with you, just regarding the life force, is that greens are the primordial food. Greens are the primordial food. When you juice, you are synthesizing sunlight. Synthesizing sunlight. It's the source of life in our cosmos. The life force in the plant is in the liquid. You cannot, by the way, you can't get the same results, obviously, from powdered greens. So green juice is also the color of the heart chakra, of love. And it puts that love energy into every cell that it reaches, elevating the body to a more loving state with each sip. Green juice also contains organic water and one of the purest sources of organic water as well. So I just kind of wanted to, talk a little bit about how plants connect you to spirit there by giving you an example of, what drinking green juice does for your body. It's pretty incredible. So one of the other pieces that a lot of people don't talk about when they get into nutrition that I love to cover, oops, come on, there we go, is to, when shopping, make sure to include each color of the rainbow, because I want you to know each color offers unique nutritional benefits. And I'm going to get into what those are just in a moment. So when you go shopping, I want you to look at your shopping cart, and I want you to make sure that you get fruits and vegetables that represent each color of the rainbow. And I'm going to start by getting a little bit into each one of these. So the color red, and I'm just going to give you like 3 fruits or veggies. Radishes, beets, and raspberries contain lycopene and vitamin C, and they're referred to as disease fighters. The color orange, which you can find in squash, yellow orange peppers, sweet potatoes. I'm going to get into orange and yellow fruits and veggies. Lemons, peaches, and pineapple contain carotenoids, and they improve your ability to learn and your memory. Green foods, apples, zucchini, broccoli, spinach, etc., provide your body with tons of chlorophyll and indole, and they protect against cancer. Blue and purple veggies, plums, blackberries, eggplants, etc., are anti-inflammatory and anti-aging and brain protectants. And then your white foods, bananas, cauliflowers, maybe mushrooms, are high in allicin. They lower heart disease and help prevent stomach cancer. So when you're going shopping, I know I tend to, pick kind of the same veggies and fruits every single time. And what I'll do is a quick scan of my cart. I'll look to see what colors I'm missing, and I will very intentionally remember what those colors are to look at them later to see which chakra they're related to and emotions and organs they're related to. And just become more aware and conscious of the colors that I choose to put in my body, the ones that I resonate with the most, and to really look at the ones that you rarely ever eat and ponder that as well, and more so included in your food. The colors of the rainbow represent the colors of your chakra. And again, so just look at your shopping cart, figure out what colors you're missing, and figure out what chakra they're related to, what emotion they're related to, and maybe an affirmation you need to do around it. Use vibrant, high vibe, organic, locally grown herbs, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and beans if you eat all of those. And feed your soul, raise your vibration, increase your life force with these foods. That's what they're here for. Always say a prayer and give thanks to these beauties that come from the earth here. I love it. So use those vibrant fruits, herbs, seeds, nuts, vegetables, and grains. Feed your sensitive soul. Look at what you're craving. Use the food and nutrition to raise your vibration by drinking green drinks. Increase your life force by being very conscious about the vibrancy and the life force of the fruits and vegetables that you are choosing to eat, to put in your shopping cart. And just know the more light you bring into your life via food, water, thoughts, and emotions, the quicker you're going to heal. So let's talk a little bit about high vibe nutrition, covering a few of the same things here. So kind of in order here for high vibe nutrition would be, of course, your fresh pressed organic juices. And I spoke about that a little earlier. You can start with the greens. And if the greens are too strong, which they are for most, then you can do fruits or you can do a blend. The next high vibe food piece to get into your body would be blending up an organic green drink. As I had mentioned before, starting in a base of coconut water or filtered water, adding some kale, some carrots, some celery, and maybe a little green apple and a little spot of stevia if it doesn't taste real great. And, get that life force energy into you and give thanks to those plants. The next high vibe nutrition piece would probably be fruit smoothies. Again, that would be filtered water, coconut water. I love to put a banana and my favorite organic frozen berries, and I mix it up. Sometimes it's mango, sometimes it's pineapple. Sometimes I just do a straight up watermelon slushy, which I love with a little shot of fresh lime. So fruit smoothies are a really easy, yummy way to get that high vibe nutrition into you. You can use superfoods, potassium and bone broths, which I spoke about quite a bit last time. And then, of course, the real live foods are the cultured fermented foods, the cultured veggies and kombuchas, the junes. There's all sorts of fermented foods out there more than veggies and kombuchas. So keep your eyes out, explore different things, keep your eyes open, and high vibe it. Bring in high vibe nutrition. High vibe nutrition is using foods that are closest to the earth, that are bringing life force energy into your body. So the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit about gut health. I know I covered it quite in depth in the first step. I'm going to cover a few more things here. Some of it might be a repeat and some of it might not. But gut health is super important, as you all know. The importance of gut health, well, your gut, as we stated before, is your immune system, responsible for your mental health, for your levels of anxiety, as well as your physical health. So please do take care of your gut. Your gut also, as an empath, stores stress and anxiety. It's your solar plexus or your third chakra. And so as an empath, when you're running other people's energy and taking on other people's thoughts and moods and junk, it tends for most empaths to store there. It can also store for some empaths shoulders and neck, and according to a Russian healer that I know, He said a lot of empaths will store it in their knees as well. So take care of your hara, your solar plexus, your third chakra there. And when you're feeling really stressed, please do use deep breathing exercises, do some castor oil rubs, use some essential oils. And if that fails, go in and have an acupuncture session, foot reflexology, or some massage work, and make sure to release that anxiety and stress that's trapped in there. Most importantly, become aware of it, and create your own toolkit as to how to move that out. The sooner you do, the better you're going to feel. Your gut also has a lymphatic system, which we spoke about before. Using the castor oil is a great way because that stimulates circulation. It stimulates, I can't think of the word. It helps with the overall lymphatic system, and it opens it up. And you don't have to heat it. You can just take organic castor oil, put it in a squirt bottle, pour it straight on there on your belly, do a really nice, gentle abdomen rub, and rest. Just rest and allow things to open up and relax. Your gut also has a brain, and I like to tell people that we get information from, at least I get information from 3 different places: my head, my heart, and my gut. And these days, I don't care what my head says. If my gut says to do something, I follow through on it. And I can tell you 80% of the time I can look back and see why I did that, even though my head was screaming at me not to do it. So listen to all those parts and energy centers of your body giving you information, your head, then check in with your heart, then check in with your gut. And you know what? If they all line up, it's a go. That's a great decision that you're about to make. It doesn't mean that you don't feel a little fear and anxiety about moving forward with it. That's normal and healthy. But when all areas of information line up and give you the same answer, then it's time to move forward regarding whatever decision you are thinking about. So remember, your gut has a brain. There's a reason for that whole, my gut feeling or my gut instinct. Please, empaths, please trust that. A lot of times that gut instinct is what we call claircognizant. It's just an inner knowing. It kind of hits in the gut, and if you don't have a filter, it comes right out the mouth. You just get this feeling and boom, you say it. So stay in your body, stay grounded, so when those gut feelings hit, you have a moment to reflect on them before stating them. Okay. And just learn how to love your gut. Use healing, loving touch. You can have a massage therapist massage in there. I've done that with clients. I'll use castor oil. I'll use my goddess face and body cream. I'll use essential oils. I'll do a Ho'oponopono prayer over the gut. I'll help it release. I'll give it loving touch and massage. And then on top of that, I'll put hot, wet towel. And on top of the hot, wet towel, a nice dry towel. And then I'll go and start working on their feet and just allowing that whole abdomen area to expand and open up. And again, the use of therapeutic grade essential oils, essentially you want always organic oils if you're going to use them. They are antimicrobial. They work on the nervous system. They bring in the medicine of the plant. They are probably, one of the most high frequency, quickest way to get results from the body when it's in pain, has excess inflammation, is dealing with excess microbes. And not only do they deal with the physical level, they nurture and help heal the spiritual body as well, and the energetic and the emotional and the mental. Those little bottles are just powerhouses of love and healing. They're truly, truly amazing. So go out and buy yourself 1 to 3 little bottles of oils that you have smelled and absolutely resonate with. Go look up what they're for specifically and just really tune in, and please incorporate essential oils into your healing toolkit, especially when it comes to gut health. And, don't forget peppermint for the belly, one of the best things you can use ever, and fennel. Sometimes if I have tension or upset in the gut, I will take a tiny little drop, put it on the top of my hand and lick it. It's amazing for pain. It's amazing for indigestion, gas, or bloating. or just and overall tension. And I think when I looked up peppermint, it had to do with self-esteem. So it's probably having a self-esteem issue that day, which triggered my gut to kind of close up. And man, when I take that peppermint oil internally, and a lot of people say don't do it internally, it's because they have to. You do want to absolutely make sure it's an organic and therapeutic grade essential oil if you're ever going to take it orally like that. Otherwise, do go ahead and rub it on your abdomen and the soles of your feet and put a tiny, teeny little drop in your belly button. And while you're lying there, go ahead and put on some super relaxing music. It could have a mantra or a song that you love, just something that soothes your nervous system, and most of all, that makes you happy. So find something that makes you happy. Okay, so regarding gut health again, so on the more physical level, for, absolutely foundational piece is the probiotics and the prebiotics. And I think I mentioned before, opening up a capsule in water, taking it first thing in the morning and first thing before you go to bed. I would do the same thing with the enzymes, opening up that capsule as well, and the hydrochloric acid, putting it in water, opening it up, taking it on an empty stomach, and don't take these all together. Take them separately within 20 minutes of each other minimum. Another quick way to really help with gut health is, of course, apple cider vinegar. I would probably take about a teaspoon to 16 ounces of water, and sometimes I'll drink the whole thing, and sometimes it takes me all day to drink it. If I'm not feeling the apple cider vinegar, I'll definitely sip on some kombucha. And what I love to do with kombucha is put it in a wine glass and add just a little splash of Swedish bitters. It makes it fun with the wine glass. It feels like a treat. And the Swedish bitters definitely take the edge off the kombucha, which has become a little too sweet for me these days. One of my go-tos in the morning is hot water with lemon. You can add stevia, you can add honey, you can just do it straight up. What I like to do is add some fire cider that I make at home to the hot water with lemon first thing in the morning and before bed as well. If you want to know what fire cider is, go ahead and Google it. I encourage each and every one of you to make your own every winter. And then I find some pretty old wine bottles and store it in there, and I keep topping it off. Again, it's a blend of apple cider vinegar, and you add, let's see if I can remember this, ginger, horseradish, garlic, and onion in a food processor. And then you can add some more Ayurvedic herbs or slices of lime and orange and bay leaf and black peppercorn. So whatever you feel like, Google around, look at some recipes. For me, it's a little overwhelming to make all at once. So if I go to the store and I happen to see fresh horseradish that looks and feels really good, I'll just grab it. If the ginger's looking great, I'll grab it, and I'll just wait. So I'll come home, I'll put it in the food processor, I'll cover it, leaving 2 inches over the top with organic. I really like the Bragg's. I've tried a lot of different apple ciders, and none of them cut it like the Bragg's. And then throughout the week, or sometimes a couple weeks, I'll look for the rest of the ingredients and keep adding it. And I don't press it after a month. I let it sit there. I don't know. Whenever it feels right. Sometimes it's 3 weeks, sometimes it's a couple months. And then again, like I said, I strain it and put it in a bottle, and we'll sip it with my hot water with lemon. Take your glutamine powder, hydrochloric acid. Glutathione is great for gut health as well. Aloe vera, I do like the Georges. I'll take about 1 to 2 ounces twice a day. Slippery elm is an herbal demulcent, so it's very soothing to the lining of the gut. Another favorite probably is dandelion and ginger tea. I will put fresh ginger in a food processor. I will then simmer it for 2 to 3 hours. I'll add a little dandelion. I'll add maybe a little tiny Himalayan salt, a tiny bit of cayenne pepper, not usually, but sometimes. And I'll let it steep, and it's concentrated, so you can put it in ball jars, keep it in your fridge, and pull it out and reheat it in the morning or afternoon or whenever it is you like it, when you have an upset stomach or you're nauseous or you just know your digestion is off. That dandelion and ginger tea is great. For those of you who don't know about Swedish bitters, please do research. I only really like the Nature Works. They're the brand that works best for me. Again, it's Nature Works. And again, I like to probably just do a splash in my kombucha. You could put it in your hot water with lemon. They are super bitter. And the more you just curl your tongue and make a face drinking it, probably the more you need it. And you don't want to do a shot of this. You want to maybe start with a teaspoon with some hot water and start with it that way and see how your body does. Just start gently and slowly. It's a great way to get your gallbladder going and your liver moving, all your internal digestive organs producing the necessary secretions they need. And along the lines of Swedish bitters would be, if none of these other things are working, start to do a liver and gallbladder tincture and really getting things opened up. There's tons of blends out there. Just go to the health food store and either do your research before you go or just intuitively go to the tincture section, look for blends, and just pick one. And more importantly, use it. And use it consistently, 2 to 3 times a day. If it says a dropper full, start with 10 drops 3 times a day. If you don't have any water, put it straight up on your tongue and just get it into your system for at least 2 weeks. And try it out and see how you like it and what makes a difference and what doesn't. Okay, so the endocrine system. Your endocrine system is simply, it's a network of glands responsible for producing, regulating, and distributing hormones throughout your body. And what excites me about the endocrine system is, of course, that the endocrine system is your chakra system. And, modern literature from both Eastern and Western cultures highlight the connection between the primary, more well-known chakras, the endocrine glands, and the organs. And I want you to know that disturbances in chakras, such as whenever our chakras or energy centers are thrown off balance by an emotional or mental blockage or taking on other people's stuff, this causes physical challenges. So, the emotions and the colors and everything behind the chakras definitely tie into our glands' ability to work and function properly. So the endocrine system, like I said, is your chakra system. Each chakra has a color, and you can look at the chart here to your left. Each chakra has a sound. Each chakra has a vibration. Chakras love to be sung to in their sound, vibration, or mantra, or chant. Each one of your chakras and glands need herbal support. They need glandular support and vitamin and mineral support. So, what I see a lot of people doing is they might just give their thyroid vitamin and mineral support without any glandular support. Or more often is the case is they'll get on glandular support and they won't be feeding that gland with the vitamins and minerals they need. So, really try to make sure you get all of that in there. So regarding the 7 chakras in the endocrine system, the root chakra is related to your reproductive glands, your testes, ovaries, kidneys, and spine. Your second chakra, which is your sacral chakra, is your adrenal gland. And it ties into your immune system and your bladder, gallbladder, bowel, and spleen. Your third chakra, which is your solar chakra, is known as your pancreas, and in Chinese medicine, that would be your digestion, and it regulates metabolism. It's the color orange, by the way. So the root chakra is red. You can see to the left. The second sacral chakra that relates to your adrenal glands is orange. The third solar plexus chakra is yellow. Your fourth heart chakra is related to your thymus gland, your immune system, heart and lungs, which is the color green, probably over here. Your fifth chakra, which is your throat, it's also related to your thyroid. Your sixth chakra is your third eye and related to your pituitary gland. And your seventh chakra is your crown chakra related to your pineal gland. So I find that pretty fascinating. And you can look up and Google some YouTubes that will balance the chakra systems while you're also giving your glands the, the physical support they need, the nutrients. So probably the best is a combination of herbal, glandular, and or mineral support. If you don't have someone to muscle test you, do try to muscle test yourself and figure that out. And by the way, the best way to regulate your chakras and your glands as an empath, and for everybody really, but especially as empaths, is by relaxing your nervous system. And again, I find the quickest way to do that is by lying down flat and doing deep breathing exercises, or just closing your eyes and watching your mind chatter and just watch it and witness it instead of engage with the drama it's trying to create. Diet absolutely plays a piece into relaxing the nervous system. If you're jacking yourself up with sugar or sugar-coated drinks that you shouldn't be eating, or eating foods that you're allergic to, that's going to really wreak havoc with your nervous system. For those of you who can exercise, that's a great way. A little time on the mini trampoline, or just even yoga, or just 3 sun salutations will get your lymph and everything opened up. You can regulate your chakras with color, and you can do that. I think that's why so many of us like to draw, by the way, is because you get to use all those different colors, and it stimulates and excites the entire glandular system or chakra system, which in turn excites and feeds the glandular system. It's all connected and it's all related. If you don't color, what I want you to do, the same way you did with eating foods from the rainbow in your cart, is to identify which colors you're missing. Like I used to despise pink. Hello. And through the years and after having a daughter, I have definitely come through that. But just identify which colors you really dislike and which colors you love and maybe overuse, and try to bring in the colors that you use very little into your house. You can do it through food, you can do it through decor, you can do it through colors, through clothes, through pens. There's all different ways to do that. So let's see, nourishing your endocrine system on the physical level. I think, I talked a little bit about this before in just the last slide. Chinese herbs to use. You can start with, of course, glandulars. And, the glandulars they have in the health food store are not very good. I would do practitioner line only. And there's so many out there, I'm not even going to get into them, but find a really good ART practitioner, autonomic response testing. And I can give you more information on that later if you like. I can send you to Dr. Klinghart's site, and on the left in the blue should be a list of ART certified practitioners in your area. That's the first thing I would recommend, hands down, across the board for your Lyme, let alone what glandular product to go on if your body's even ready for a glandular. Okay, so regarding Chinese herbs, 2 of my favorite for your endocrine system would be maca, M-A-C-A, root, and cordyceps. That's C as in cat, O-R-D, Y as in yummy, C-E-P-S. So that's maca and cordyceps. Those are 2 of my favorites to feed the endocrine system, specifically thyroid and adrenals. Fulvic and humic minerals. Minerals, of course, you need, again, to carry out the toxins and rebuild your organs and your glands. Probably one of my favorites is from Body Ecology. She has a liquid ancient earth minerals, and it has humic minerals, fulvic, macro, and micro minerals, as well as aminos and electrolytes. Great little product to add to your health and healing toolkit. As always, for all healing, you want aminos and you want protein to rebuild the body. And probably 2 of the easiest, simplest ways to do it for me would be through some whey powder. And again, I love the One World whey powder. And, even as simple as Bragg's aminos, or your practitioner can find a nice powder amino supplement to add as well to your protocol. So you need to nourish your endocrine system by using sound and color. Probably the best way to figure all that out, especially through sound, is you can buy a CD online. Steve Halpern has some balancing chakra CDs, and I'm sure there's tons more out there. And then what you really need to do to nourish your endocrine system as an empath is to practice spiritual hygiene. And spiritual hygiene is the practice of clearing out other people's energy from your own energy centers, which are your chakras and your endocrine system. So identify first off where you're holding other people's energy in your system. Just because it doesn't only mean that it's in your solar plexus or in your digestion, it can be in your heart. It can be in all different areas of your body. So be sure to locate where those are. And practice clearing out other people's energy from your field. And you can do this by, again, creating your own toolkit, making a list of the things that work for you. You know, have that list written down and available from when you're off balance and you can't think of what to use. Just I put it on a file card and I look at it and I identify something. And then what I've done is I have a basket. And in my basket, I put in my favorite oils, my sage, my Palo Santo. I love to use a combination of rose water and orange blossom spray in a spray bottle. I have my bath salt mix ready to go. And when those don't work and the stress to the endocrine system has been sustained, then I really love acupuncture, a magnesium bath, a massage, and or some foot reflexology. I find that those things there will really bring my chakra system and my whole endocrine system back into balance. Okay, so your nervous system and the importance of your nervous system. I just want to let you know, heavy metals, chemicals, radiations from your cell phone, computer, cell tower, along with viruses, bacteria, and parasites living in your body deplete your nervous system physically and energetically. Your nervous system is your interface with the world. And on the physical level, the constant assault of these toxins depletes your body of the vitamins and minerals essential to keep your nervous system calm and able to relax and be grounded. And on the energetic level, as an empath, you have a highly tuned, supersensitive nervous system that is always working overtime to process all the input we receive from people and the environments around us. And that makes us prone to anxiety on top of Lyme-induced anxiety. Okay, so super, super important to take extreme self-care of your nervous system. And you're going to do that by setting healthy boundaries for your nervous system. And by setting healthy boundaries for your nervous system, you set boundaries for the rest of your body. So how many of you go out there and say you have a session with a doctor? Do they set boundaries with you? Do you know how long the appointment's going to be, what their philosophy is, what their refund policy is, how long your session will be, how much does it cost? Do you feel safer when you're working with someone who set all those boundaries for you? I know I do. I know I've worked with people who I haven't even asked them all those things, and it just feels chaotic to me. It feels very uncomfortable. So in the same way you work with someone, you do your research on them and they set boundaries with you, they give you limitations and they tell you everything you need to can expect from your session. It's similar to setting boundaries for your nervous system. When you let your nervous system know that you are there to take extreme self-care of it, no matter what's going on, then the rest of your body, your glands, your organs, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions can all take a deep sigh and relax because they know that you're there advocating for you, right? Really, really big. So the minute you feel yourself becoming anxious, you need to start setting boundaries. Now, a lot of people won't think of setting boundaries until they're over the top with a situation and they can't handle it anymore and they've let it go, sometimes literally for years or for lifetime. So the key for empaths is to really identify that anxiety the minute it sets in. The trick is that when you have Lyme, there's anxiety again from the microbes and the metals and the onslaught of radiation from Wi-Fi. And then when you're an empath, you're always taking on other people's stuff. So there's anxiety from other people's stuff. So it's almost like you have a neural pathway that's just habituated to anxiety. So catching anxiety the minute it starts can be a new learning skill for you. It's going to be different, but I still want you to know that even though your body And nervous system habituated to anxiety doesn't mean it needs to be there all the time, which means, again, as soon as it starts to come on, I want you to identify it and take a moment and to start to set boundaries. And what you're going to do is you're going to set boundaries by not putting other people's needs first, right? You're going to schedule quiet time each day to recharge doing what you love. You're going to limit the amount of time you give to other people's energy, especially if they're draining. And you're going to make time to do things that are important to you. The second thing you need to do in terms of taking extreme self-care is be aware of your body. As empaths, the emotions of others can affect you physically as well as emotionally. When we pick up others' emotions, they definitely cause us to feel even more fatigue, aches, pains, and headaches. And sometimes it becomes difficult to identify how much is ours and how much is theirs. So in order to reduce the amount of emotions and how other people's emotions affect you, developing a stretching routine. Like I said earlier, you can just stretch, do a sun salutation, do some very simple yoga. You can walk in nature, preferably barefoot, even if you're in your backyard when you're putzing around, or you can put a blanket out there and ground yourself and recharge. And of course, get a massage or foot reflexology. You know, that just moves things out quicker than anything else I know. It's just to get that body work on a cellular level, it moves it out. And when you move the gunk out on a physical cellular level, then of course, the emotions and the thoughts and the energies connected with it all move out as well. And you know, as empaths, I don't need to tell you, you spend a lot of time in your head. So listening to your own body is absolutely vital. Also, I want you to be aware of the places in your body that reflect your emotional trauma. You know, this is a little heavy to share, but I recently had a client with chronic headaches and you know, just came to find out that it's the same place her father had placed a gun on her head. And, you know, she's the most loving and effervescent soul you'll ever meet. And you never know how much trauma was lodged in her nervous system. Other than, you know, she is pretty incapable of ever being able to deeply relax and has 10 billion things going on at once. But, you know, these places where we store our trauma are usually pretty indicative of where our emotional trauma started from as well. And the toxins also go to the physical injuries. If you play tennis, a lot of times the toxins will store in the elbows. If you're an avid runner, they'll store in the knees. If you had a car injury on your back, the toxins will tend to store along your spine, wherever that injury was. So just take note of where you've had any injuries and see if there's any excess pain stored in there, and emotional as well. Probably most importantly, empaths, balance your nervous system. Empaths have all their emotional channels open all the time. Your emotional channels are always open. Listening and reading about other people's fears and anxieties. And that just triggers your nervous system into overdrive. Like it or not, that's what happens with empaths. So take your time to meditate for 5 minutes and close your eyes. Learn emotional shielding techniques. I like to do some EFT or emotional freedom technique, which is a type of tapping. And you know, instead of tapping out the negative, what I'll coach clients to do is tap in what they do want. I was in a really stressful situation with my ex, and I was shaking. I had to be in a public place with him, and I sat in the car probably for about 3 minutes and tapped, "I am calm, poised, and at peace. I am calm, poised, and at peace. I am calm, poised, and at peace." And of course, my mind was saying bullshit. But eventually I did stop shaking. And, you know, I walked into that situation, and my ex is a narcissist. And as you know, narcissists like to keep you off balance and knock you off balance. And I sat down next to him, and I was so calm and poised and at peace. He took a couple of very covert passive-aggressive shots at me, and I didn't flinch. So he redirected his energy to the person we were talking with, and he left me alone. It was priceless. It was precious at how well the tapping can work for your nervous system to soothe it. Let me see. So looking at the self-soothing techniques on here, and a lot of these I've already talked about, but music, you know, quickest way, get onto YouTube, pull up a solfeggio frequency, something soothing that you like. Get out into nature, get into some water, find a peaceful, quiet place that's meditative where you can retreat or create sanctuary. Bring out your smudge. I like to use sage. I also love Palo Santo. Sage is very masculine and very acrid, and it's great for getting rid of negative stuff, but it also creates a void. And what I like to do is bring in kind of the feminine, which is Palo Santo. And she's very sweet smelling and she's very soothing. And whenever I use it around clients, their nervous system immediately settles. And you know, when you buy incense, I really prefer to buy the temple incenses, and temple incenses are those made in India. And not only do they smell great, they definitely have a frequency or vibration or energy to them. And don't overdo it, because some of them can be toxic, but I am addicted to my specific incenses that I love. And again, you know, self-soothing, if nothing else is really working and you've had ongoing long-term chronic stress that is just really wiping out your nervous system, probably acupuncture, massage, definitely detox using the far infrared sauna are all really wonderful ways to. So different ways to feed your nervous system. You know, again, you need to feed it the nutrients it needs so it can feel calm and relaxed. And of course, you need to use detox as well to move out the heavy metals and microbes that are causing your body excess anxiety. Otherwise, you want to feed your nervous system with vitamins. And, you know, probably the best thing to do is go into the health food store or to your practitioner and ask them for a really nice, preferably liquid form of vitamins, broad spectrum vitamins. And then, of course, the next way to feed the nervous system is through minerals, minerals, minerals. I love my magnesium chloride spray. You can use the Ancient Minerals brand. Love it, love it, love it. And, you know, I also love standard processed magnesium lactate. It has calcium, 30% calcium, about 70% magnesium. In terms of herbs, I love to use a little passion flower, maybe a little California poppy, or a tea blend. The nice thing is, again, is you could just go to the health food store and you can, I would buy two. I would buy a tincture blend that you really like or are drawn to, and a hot tea blend, and use them both. And when things are really tough, I mean, drink them both. You can actually put your nervous system tincture in your nervous system tea for double effect. And all it's going to do is make you sleep or make you really tired. So nothing wrong with that when your nervous system is just wiped out. Feed it, feed it, feed it those minerals that it needs. The reason that the herbs work is because their roots go deep into the earth and they draw minerals up from the roots into their stem, into their leaves and plants and flowers. And that's one of the reasons why the herbs work so well, is because they do feed your nervous system with vital live minerals. You definitely want a B complex, liquid B complex. You can do, on top of that, you can do a sublingual B12 or B12 shots, whatever your preference is, mix it up, whatever you like. Smoothies, we talked about smoothies and adding a really nice vitamin mineral powder mix. Broths, we talked about adding Chinese herbs such as reishi and astragalus and seaweed to bring in minerals that will feed your nervous system and chelate heavy metals out of your body. I talked about some herbal teas in terms of dandelion. And, you know, probably my favorite herbal teas would probably be, there's some really nice rose, lavender, and chamomile blends that you can make yourself by making an infusion, or again, you can buy the tea bag. And all I ask that you do when you pour hot water over the tea bag is to please put a lid on it and let it sit for at least 15 minutes so that you get more medicinal benefits from it. And of course, a part of feeding your nervous system is making sure that your endocrine system is working well. So make sure your adrenals are being fed, and your thyroid is being fed, and that your gut is being taken care of and loved on all levels. So final thoughts on nutrition, endocrine, gut, and nervous system. Step number 2 would be, please stabilize your whole body by feeding, nourishing, and nurturing it with vital nutrients from the earth, sound, color, and most importantly, love, your love. Work on really loving your body. So many of us spend so much time hating on our body, how it looks physically, how it feels physically, etc. We could just go on. We hate on our thoughts. We hate on our feelings. Please try to redirect, reshift, and reset your mindset around all of that and bring in love, whatever it takes to bring it in. It could be music. It can be a hug. Just don't indulge in hating yourself any more than you have to. So once you give your body what it needs on the physical, as well as on all levels, you're going to start to feel calm. You'll have this kind of gently energized feeling come over you. You'll feel at peace. Doesn't mean that life is just not going to throw you anything anymore, but you will be able to handle whatever comes your way much, much easier. And of course, if you wish to receive loving support in learning how to integrate any of these steps into your life, you can email me at sun@leilasun.com, and until the end of this month, receive 20% off my 4, 6-month, or I have a new 12-month program, Holistic Transform Lyme program. I'd love to see you join me. Love to you all, my beautiful empaths. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to step 3. Take care.